Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of my education vlog. And today I'm going to go over my first class I want to talk about, which is the social media marketing class that I'm doing. And then later in the week, Wednesday, I will I will release another video that will go over my other class, which is strategic storytelling. I wanted to break them up because my goal is to give the audience just little chunks of what I'm doing without boring you and hopefully adding some value to my channel while you learn a little bit about this journey that I'm taking in getting my degree in communications with an emphasis in new media. So let's take a look at what we are talking about. So the first module we have going on in our social media marketing class is module 1 is the introduction to social media and marketing. The objective of the class is to summarize personal use of social media networks, including interaction with marketing material, and analyze the marketing implications of a chosen social media network. Please excuse the flickering that you see in my camera. If anybody knows how to fix the Elgato is the camera that I'm using, and I'm using Ecamm Live to record this. And there's been some weird flickering that's been going on. I'm not absolutely sure why. I've done a couple number of things, so please forgive that. So going back over, we have the objective. Now, the first part of this, summarizing personal use of social networks, including interactions with marketing material. Essentially, what the professor is looking for is to help us understand why we use social media. One thing I've learned from taking these courses is they teach us through reflection. By reflecting on the things that I do, I am learning about how to do something. So I think it's a great model to use because we learn basically from the inside out and observing our own interaction with the material or the environment that we're naturally used to working in. Okay, so I like that. And as I was reading the material, the bottom line is this is an interaction with social media right now. What I'm doing, I am creating content, and then I'm going to post this content on YouTube, and there are going to be several people that watch it. That's one way that I interact with social media. The other way is I follow friends, family. I follow brands that I like, such as Apple Computers as a favorite brand, a favorite entertainer. I'm a big fan of Tina Turner. I follow her blog on YouTube, and I also follow her on Facebook. So those are just some examples of how I interact with social media on a day-to-day basis. I also use social media as a way of finding news, what's going on in the world. Now that social media has become a part of all organizations day to day, news outlets are a great source of just giving you snippets about what's going on. The elections are coming up, so I interact with candidates and see what they're doing on their social media platforms so I can get an idea of what their issues are and what they are or not focusing on. So that is just one aspect. The other aspect that they are looking at in this is to including the interactions with marketing materials. Marketing materials and what they are looking for us. When you see an ad, what do you do? Now, most of the times when I see an advertisement in my feed, I keep on scrolling when I see it's something of promotion. They're getting a lot trickier now. You really have to read, is this something that somebody is actually doing on TikTok, or is this an ad, and it will say a promotion. And I do, as a potential marketer, I do like the ability for a marketer to zoom in to the audience. And what I mean by that is, in the beginnings of social media marketing, most of the time you would just buy your ad, you would hope that it reached a target audience, but you were just basically putting the ad out and letting it go out in the wild. Where now there are tools on Instagram and Facebook to help you zoom in on the exact audience you're looking for. So what they're looking for from me when they are talking about this, what is what including interactions with marketing materials, as far as summarizing, the instructor is looking for me to summarize that. And then analyzing the marketing implications of a chosen social media network. Analyzing, when I read that statement, what I'm seeing is what is the intended outcome, I guess. It's a little blurry considering there's so many angles and perspectives that you can look at with social media marketing. Now, I'm going to get back to that. So, because I wanted to address this, which is the book that we're looking at, and maybe that'll help you and help me as I process this. So the book, as you remember last time, I had a hard time getting to it, but I got to it this time. And the book we're using is titled, let me go back here, Perspectives in Social Media Marketing. That's it. So this is the book we're using, Perspectives in Social Media Marketing. There's 2 authors. And here, let me go back. There we go. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you can. So we're looking at Perspectives in Social Media Marketing by Stephanie Agresta B. Baden, triple B, and then Jason. And so far, I have not seen anything from Jason Miltsky as far as this book goes, but I have seen the Q&A from the other 2 authors. So let me explain a little bit about how this book is broken up. The authors approach this book in a Q&A fashion. The Stephanie, she approaches it from a agency perspective, and Bo approaches it from a brand perspective. Now, Bo worked, I don't know if he still works, but I know at one time he was a employee of PepsiCo. So his perspective is coming from a brand such as PepsiCo. So let's take a look at this. We had to look at several topics. The first one is topic 1. How would you define social media? Now, Stephanie's says it's a verb. I disagree with that. I say social media is more of a person, place, or thing. Posting is a verb, but yet social media itself is, I don't consider a verb. So I kind of disagree with her perspective on that. Now she does address analogy and says social media is like going to a dinner party where you have specific rules that you follow. And I went in my book, and let me do this. So I don't know if you can see this book. My green screen is kind of messing up. But the book is Social Media Strategy Tools for Professionals and Organizations by Philip Clampett. And in this book, we're not using this book for this class. We used it for another class. Anyway, he defines social media and a different form, which I liked his form, and I'm going to read it to you. So he says, for the purposes, we define social media as an electronic form of communication that is governed by the rules of platform providers. It allows users to share images and text within their selected communities. And he goes on to talk about the 5 distinct features of social media. Electronic form of communication is one. It's governed by the rules of the platform provider, such as such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Of course, users, you and I are the users, and then we share our images and we share text. And then the other final one was the selected communities. Social media users form communities of various sizes and of associated interests. What I think about is Facebook groups and how we build Facebook groups based on like-mindedness and our interests. So I prefer this definition over what they define social media as. I mean, I'm going to be honest. My personal opinion of the book is they're kind of all over the board when it came to this particular topic. Now, the second topic we talked about or read about was, why does social media have such a powerful impact? Again, that is a subjective answer. The way I look at social media's impact is because its ability to scale through sharing. If something is likable, for example, the slap that happened at the Oscars, that was two highly profiled brands, Will Smith and Chris Rock. And then the Oscars itself was a highly profiled brand. Because of those 3 profiles combined together, each of them had their own social media audiences. So therefore, their audiences combined together made that incident a powerful impact across all of social media. Everybody was jumping in and sounding off on that particular incident. So it's powerful due to its ability to connect different islands, if you will, and then those islands, their audiences merge together, thus compacting the impact and then growing from there. To me, that's fascinating. If you have 2 brands like Pepsi and Coca-Cola competing against each other on social media, you can have a powerful impact on your audiences, because both teams are rooting for the other one, and they're all sharing this across their own individual platforms. Each of the audience members of Pepsi and each of the audience members of Coke are sharing these platforms, and so you just have this phenomenal way to reach an audience in a compacted format. So that's why I find social media to be powerful. Now, number 3 we talked about was, how has social media changed marketing strategies? And this, I'm not sure how long you've been on social media. I've been on social media since inception. 2008, when I began driving a truck, I opened up my first Facebook account. And prior to that, I had a MySpace account, which I don't even know if MySpace is around anymore. And prior to that, I had a business in the early 2000s when the first .com bubble popped. And at that time, Amazon only sold books. That's how long I've been on the World Wide Web. And so I have watched social media significantly change marketing strategies. Before you had Facebook, most ways that online marketers got their marketing out there was through message boards, or you would buy an ad on somebody else's blog or website. And that was not feasible or practical. And then there were, like myself, other people who took ads out in paper still to get the audience to notice, like, hey, so traditional media was still being used to draw people to new media technologies such as the internet to purchase. And building a website was costly. Our first website cost us about $2,500 to build. And that was in the early 2000s. Now it's nothing, absolutely nothing. The platform to connect your banking system was expensive. Now it's literally nothing. So it has significantly changed. So this was a good, this first class gave me an opportunity to kind of reflect back on my experiences with marketing in the social media realm and understand the different perspectives. Like, again, the books give the perspective of the agency and the perspective of a brand. Personally, I just feel that there wasn't enough sustenance. If I was completely oblivious to what social media marketing was about, these are not the book. This is not the book that I would want to read to get that, to grasp that. That's just my personal thoughts on that. I would prefer to read the book by Philip Clampett. It says Social Media Marketing Strategy, Tools for Professionals and Organizations. Why we didn't use this book in this class is beyond me. So moving on. And then let's see, we did 1, 2, 3. So we also had to do, I'm going to run through these really quickly. We talked about topic number 5, which was, can small companies and entrepreneurs take advantage of social media? And I say yes. And I say that there are still hurdles because big companies have bigger budgets. They can command a bigger audience. They can buy more ad space and on more platforms. For a small business owner with a small budget, organic marketing is more valuable to the entrepreneur. What I mean by organic is unpaid for marketing. For example, I'm not marketing my YouTube channel. I'm not paying for my YouTube channel to be seen by anybody. I am making my post. I'm putting in tags. I am sharing it on my Facebook page. I am sharing it on blogs. That's it. Anybody that comes and finds my channel is going to find it based on the YouTube algorithm, based on what the tags represent, and based on how Google search feeds somebody my blog, or how Facebook feeds somebody my Facebook page. Other than that, I don't pay for any marketing. So therefore, as a small company or solopreneur, yes, social media can be taken advantage of, yet the hurdle to pay for paid advertisement is still there. And, you know, you can use things like Facebook groups is always beneficial from my experience. Then number 10 we had is, how has social media altered the consumer buying cycle? As I touched on earlier, which I'm quite sure you experience this too. If you see an ad that is something you want to buy, you buy it. If you don't want to buy it, you don't buy it. But again, as a consumer, I'm always on the prowl looking for something, a good deal. But as a marketer, I don't get to take advantage of the consumer buying cycle as much. And then for the last one, real briefly, I just want to touch on this one. We discussed, do consumers really want to communicate with brands? Why or why not? Yes and no. When Apple releases a new product, I'm on their website. I'm on their YouTube channel watching the latest release or watching the latest Apple event that they had, because I want to know what products are coming down the line. So yes, I do want to communicate with that brand. If a new video comes out from an entertainer that I follow, I go and watch that video. So yes, I want to communicate with that brand, write something on their blog or website or YouTube video. I feel that, let me erase that. I think consumers are not necessarily interested in brands that are not significant to their day-to-day. For example, I'm trying to think of a brand. Post-it Notes. Post-it Notes is a brand. 3M is the maker of Post-it Notes. I don't necessarily care about Post-it Notes. Yeah, if I need them, I'll go buy them. If I don't need them, I don't go buy them. But I really don't want to go on their YouTube channel or Facebook page and see what Post-it Notes are doing. It's Post-it Notes. It's 3M. Now, if I was someone who worked in an office and used a lot of 3M products, that might be different. If I found that it was significant to me, it might be different. If I was an investor in 3M, yeah, I would then be interested in what 3M was up to. As a stakeholder, I would interact that way. So that's just a little overview of what the marketing was. The other thing we looked at was a video on TEDx, and it's called The Hidden Influence of Social Networks. The speaker is a physician, social scientist, Nicholas Christakis. It is a great video. I'll put a link to it in the description if you want to watch it. Essentially, what he's talking about is how during a study he was doing, he came upon the concept of how we're all interconnected, and it relates to social networks. We flock to our like-minded individuals, those of us who think alike, who share common interest or common vibe. That's basically what we learned from this video, or what I learned. Let me speak for me. What I learned from this video. So to round up this and to wrap it up, this was a great introduction lesson to social media marketing strategies and helping me look from the inside out to understand what we're going to be doing in this class. And for my next video, I'm going to be talking about these strategic storytelling. So I bid you adieu until Wednesday on my next video drop. I'll see you then. All right, everybody. Peace.